Hello, how are you? The Philadelphia Phillies played yesterday their first World Series game in this year in their ballpark, the Citizens Bank Park. This is a place where the Phillies are playing their best games of the year, and the fanatics that are filling that ballpark are making it real crazy for the teams that have been there: the Braves, the Padres, and now the Astros. Yesterday, the team was totally inspired and they hit as much homers as any other team in the history of the World Series have hit. Five home runs against a very good pitcher who is Lance McCullers. So first we saw Bryce Harper, going to the right field public with his two-run homer. And then we saw other home runs also, like Brandon Marsh. We saw also Reese Hoskins, and we saw also Kyle Schwarber, who hit a monstrous shot at about 443 feet to the center field. So, and the other one was Alex Bohm also. So the Phillies are a team that is in their best moment. And as I said in the first time we had a conversation, this is a team that was built for this year, filling the holes that they had from the previous season, that were the bullpen. They added two extraordinary hitters, and they added also a fourth and fifth starting pitcher. As I also said before, this team, in my opinion, was ready to be going to the playoffs since 3 years ago when they hired Bryce Harper. But as I commented also, the terrible bullpen, one of the worst bullpens in the major league history, and also an offense that was lacking, let's say, consistency, made this team in September completely lose their chances to go to the postseason. But now they, as I said, filled those holes. And even though many people did not believe this team could go even to the playoffs, they should, and they did. And they took care of St. Louis in 2 games at their ballpark. They took care of Atlanta in 4 games. And they took care of San Diego in 5 games. In these two series, they only lost 1 game against each one of these teams. So yesterday, as I said, is like what should happen in baseball, let's say, season for a team like this. As I've also said before, in baseball there is something that I call the magic of baseball, where teams that should win can't win because of an error, because of they had a fan interfering, because the pitcher did not have a very good day. So these things are not happening right now to the Phillies, which of course helps a lot. But it is mainly this team's fanatics and the chemistry, the great chemistry that they have among their players, manager, and coaches that are bringing the best of this team. And that's why I always thought that this team could win it all, even from the beginning of the season. But it was necessary that these players had with them these things that I just mentioned. And I think naming Rob Thompson, the manager, was the most important piece that contributed to this great success that they are having right now. Yesterday, Ranger Suarez again pitched an extraordinary game. This is a pitcher who just started being in the rotation at the middle of 2 years ago, in 2020. And he is probably the best pitcher there is in Major League Baseball because of what he believes in himself. As I said before, this is a guy that can walk one or even two players in an inning. I mean, not walk him directly, but not throwing them anything good because he doesn't want to get hit by the most, let's say, fearful players in the other lineup. And then when he comes and pitches against a hitter that is weaker, he's almost sure that he can make him hit for a double play. And he doesn't care that he's not going to be long time in the game because these, let's say, bad pitches that he throws to some hitters, they're going to make the count be full and maybe get some fouls being hit to him. But he doesn't care. This is probably, as many analysts say, the guy that has the lowest heartbeat in the game. He is so paused and he feels so sure of himself that you see him, like yesterday again, smiling and sometimes even laughing during the game. A laughter that is not that he is, taking it on the other team. It is something that he does it because he is like so in peace with himself. So Suarez yesterday was really good again, and the bullpen, which, as I said, is probably one of the best bullpens in the majors after being one of the worst in other seasons, just up to last year. Well, they did it again. So the Phillies won 7-0 in this first game at Citizens Ballpark. And as I said before, I believe the Phillies are going to win this World Series in Philadelphia. I think today they are going to win again because they're having Aaron Nola pitching. And Aaron Nola had already in his last start, let's say the start where he got hit. He pitched against the Astros and he got 5 earned runs against him in 4.1 innings. So this Nola that pitched on the 28th of August, Friday, the first game of the series, I don't think is going to be the one today. I think the one we're going to see today is the guy that had 18 games in the year allowing 2 runs or less. And of those 18 games, in 8 of them, he did not allow runs. And in 7 of them, he only allowed 1 run. And as we can remember, maybe, the first 2 postseason games this year, he did not allow any runs either against St. Louis and Atlanta. So this guy is going to probably be also inspired by these great fans that are on the stands of Citizens Bank Park. And he's going to pitch for the 3rd victory of Philadelphia in this postseason. Then, well, let's see, we would wait for the last game that would be on Friday, it would be, let me see, it would be on Thursday, yes, in Philadelphia, and we hope that the Phillies can obtain this World Series. That was something that logically great majority of the analysts and baseball fans did not even think they could even advance to the playoffs. But here they are, and they're going to, in my opinion, be the world champions in 5 games, as I said before. Tonight, anyway, the Astros are going to have a great pitcher. He is Christian Javier. Javier is 25 years old, and he really had a great season. He had a season where he had a 2.54 ERA, and of the 25 games that he started, this is unbelievable. In 20 of those 25 games, he only allowed 2 runs or less. Of those 20 games, he had 8 games where he did not allow any runs. And he had another 8 games where he only allowed 1 run. And in 4 games, he allowed 2 runs. So this means in 20 games, as I said before, of the 25 he started, he allowed 2 runs or less. This is something awesome. And he ended the season starting in September 7 until his last game in October. He ended the season with a 28.1 number of innings pitched, where he only allowed 1 run and 10 hits. So this guy, Christian Javier, is going to give the Phillies a lot of trouble. But as I said before, the Phillies are inspired. Their chemistry is very, very good. And I'm sure that guys like Harper, like Realmuto, like Hoskins, like Schwarber, like Bohm, like Castellanos, they're going to find a way to score against him. So I think also that Aaron Nola is going to have one of the best games he's ever pitched today. And of course, he's going to also uh, be in the late innings, substituted by some of the great bullpen guys. And I honestly think that the Phillies are going to win today, the third game of the World Series. And tomorrow, yes, tomorrow, Thursday, they're going to probably end the series. So I hope you enjoy this game a lot. And we are really happy to be here and be able to see what many people thought was almost impossible, to see the Phillies win the World Series. Thank you very much. Goodbye.